Hello class, this is Professor Madison here with week 2 instructions for us. Want to specifically talk primarily about the marketing plan discussion forum that we've got, basically for weeks 2 through week 6. We have 2 discussions each week. One of them is a general discussion primarily from the textbook, and then the second discussion forum I'm kind of calling our marketing plan discussion. And the purpose behind that is I want us to be looking at the topic, some of the themes that of the headings of the subjects that the paper is going to be covering. And so what I decided to do, I did this the last time we did this course online, and I want to carry that forward, is to give us context for the different questions, for the analysis that we're going to do, the marketing plans, the evaluation, all those components of the paper that we're going to do in the marketing planning process itself. I wanted to put us all on the same page, that we were all looking at the same content, the same themes. I think there's something to be said about learning together, about hearing other people. Very few marketing plans that you're actually going to do out in the real world, as it were, are going to be done in isolation. You'll either be part of a team working on that, or you'll at least be in contact with other members in the organization to help you gain a better perspective and to get answers to the questions you have. So we're going to duplicate that. We're going to mimic that a little bit. And within the 3 different groups, of course, you're assigned to one of the groups. There's going to be 7 or 8 people in your group. You're going to be working through the questions which I have. The questions I've selected are focusing on both the process and kind of the experience itself. And we're all going to be using the same company, the same marketing team as our foundation. And if you've looked in the notes, in Module 1, in the section called Assignment Instructions, you're going to see information on a case study for B-Town Box. And it's likely that you've not heard of that before. If any of you get a subscription to the newspaper, you might have seen it back at Christmas time, November, December, in the South Bend Tribune back in 2017. That's where I first noticed it. I think I'm one of the few people in the area who still gets the daily newspaper. But it's a product that is you can order it through the website, have it delivered, and it's based on different items that you're going to find in Bloomington. What you have are several businesses in Bloomington who have kind of joined together, and they've aggregated, they've brought together some of the things that downtown Bloomington is famous for: specialty coffee, popcorn, there's a mug from a certain store, some other items that if you were a Bloomington person, that you would recognize. And so the theme, the idea is that they're trying to solicit purchases, orders from people with a background at IU. And primarily it's IU graduates, IU Bloomington graduates, but it doesn't have to be that way. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at this business together throughout the course and answer the questions, the planning questions that are part of our paper. Now, within the case study that I've posted out there on the site, you're going to find some links to a couple of things. One, you're going to find a link to their website. You're going to see what they're doing from a marketing standpoint right now. You're also going to see a link to a fact book page from Indiana University. And it's going to list for you the number of IU graduates, kind of where they are, so forth. Look at that. It's going to help you answer the questions that we're going to pose in a much more accurate way if you look at all of those resources. The last semester, I think the group of students wrestled with who the audience was. There's no reason, I guess, for me to keep it a secret. I found the class really trying to focus in on how they can make more sales in Bloomington. And I think when you look at the product they're selling and the audience of IU graduates, you get a sense, I think, of a better picture of really who the audience is that they're marketing to. So you're going to want to look at that document and get a sense of that. Also in the case study are a list of the different IU alumni chapters that are around the country, and I think you'll find that helpful. Anyway, a short story of the product and the business is there in that case study. The links that I've just described are also there. And as we go through working with B-Town Box in the context of the questions that we're going to be asking to produce a paper, you are free, you are welcome to go ahead and use B-Town Box as the company that you write your marketing plan on. There's something to be said about doing that. Obviously, you're going to be gaining insight from your peers as they answer questions that are tied to the marketing plan. Certainly, there's some economies of scale there. You're not required to. If you don't want to use the B-Town Box, that's fine. In a couple of occasions, students in the past had already been assigned to work on a marketing plan for the place where they're employed, and you're welcome to do that. If you've got another business, in 2 semesters ago, there were 2 students who were starting their own company, trying to be entrepreneurs, and so it made sense for them to do their marketing plan on the business that they were investigating starting. So you can choose whatever company you want, whatever organization you want. It can be a for-profit, it can be a not-for-profit, or again, you're welcome to use the B-Town Box. But we are going to be using B-Town Box to lead us through our discussions. And regardless of who you decide to choose to write your paper on, I think you're going to find it very helpful to have context for the questions that we're going to answer. Next week, when you come to the class for Module 3, for Week 3 next week, I will be rolling out my expectations for the paper itself. And we're going to talk about actually writing the paper. But you don't need to worry about that today. Also, please notice in Week 2, Module 2, you're going to see at the bottom of that, of the offerings in Week 2, are those exhibits, Exhibit 2.3 and 3.3, 3.4, 3.5, and 4.7. That's gold, particularly Exhibits 3.3, 3.4, and 3.5. Invaluable in helping you to write your paper, and honestly, invaluable in whatever work you're going to be doing. Any kind of planning you're going to do in the future. I think you would do well to print those out. They're PDF files from your textbook. So if you want to get them from your textbook, that's fine. But I like this idea here of having them available as a single document that's already been scanned for you. Again, you're welcome to access it that way, but you're going to want to refer to those often when you start writing your paper. The discussion question for the marketing discussion question this week comes from Exhibit 3.4. You're going to have to look at that because you're going to be choosing one of the 6 questions that are part of that exhibit, and you're going to answer tied to what you discover about B-Town Box. Remember, you're going back to the assignment instructions, and you're going to be looking at the B-Town Box case study. You're going to be applying those 6 questions. You're going to choose one of the 6 questions that you find there on Exhibit 3.4 for the discussion. You're going to find instructions also over in Week 2 on the marketing plan discussion itself. Instructions are there. Here's the thing. No single question can be selected more than twice. So there are 6 questions. What that means is that hopefully you'll spread the love around so that all 6 questions are handled by at least one person. But no question can be taken more than 2 times. So the earlier you post, the better shot you have at getting a question that you want to. But I really, for the sake of you and your peers within each of your groups, I really encourage you to handle for someone to take at least each of the questions once, so that somebody is answering questions 1 through 6 in that Exhibit 3-4. Again, whatever didn't seem clear on the video, you've got duplicate instructions, and maybe it'll be easier to read them when you go and open up the marketing plan discussion forum. I think that's all I wanted to share. Give you context of the B-Town box, and also to let you know that you have the option of using that for your paper or not. All right, have a good week, and I'll post instructions for week 3 and talk more about the paper next Sunday. Okay, I'll see how you respond out on the discussion forums.